with like 3 lines, you could send 16 bits of data. So this is a shift register example that I just used the Arduino examples from. I put a ZIF socket in there, so that's where the FM chip was going to go. And these lights will tell me if I'm streaming the data out correctly. The order matters. I put them in reverse. So these are the shift registers. This is the PSG chip. It sends the data out to this shift register. It fills 8 bits here. And then once this is filled, it sends 8 bits to there. And then it sends another like latch command to tell it to send it out all at once. This means it's going to send the one byte to the PSG chip and 1 byte to the FM chip. This is where the FM chip is going to go. That brings me to the next step, to getting the FM chip. And to do that, I had to take one out of a real Genesis. So this is the Genesis I took the FM chip out of. I had to desolder it. This is a picture of all the steps that I went through to get it. I bought a used Sega Genesis for like $30. Took it apart. Very painful to do. It was a nice system. Took out all the parts. See, that's the cartridge port. That's a 68K CPU. This is the chip I needed. All these are like memory chips. So I located it. I desoldered it. I have it in my hand. Now, straight to the breadboard. Now, the FM chip works almost the same way as the PSG chip does, or it means you could get sound out of it by writing bytes to it. What those bytes do, if you read the documentation, they're different register writes. Like we'll take a look at the pinout again. These values D0 through D7, that's where the bytes are going to go. And there are other pins that tell you which part of the registers you can write into. This chip also has an integrated audio mixer, which was convenient. Has stereo out. These are 2 stereo outs. And these 4 pins tell the chip that it's ready to receive data. If it's gives a status if it's ready to receive the next set. This is what a VGM file looks like. Remember those hex commands that we needed to send those bytes out to the pins? So now that I know how to send bytes to the IC chips, it's just a matter of parsing through this file. If I encounter a command, like 50 is a command to send the next byte to the PSG chip. 52 would be a command to send a byte to the FM chip, so on and so forth. What those bytes mean, you could read the documentation and kill yourself understanding how the channel addresses, but you just pump it the data. A little overview of how it works. I keep the VGM data in this EEPROM. Takes it 1 byte at a time through the Arduino. The Arduino sends it out to the shift registers. If you remember, the shift registers is just containers of 1 bit at a time for 1 byte. So I fill these up. They all have 1 byte worth of information. This one goes to the PSG chip. This one goes to the FM chip. And these are little control bits that you need to tell this FM chip that it's ready to receive information, it's ready to write information. You need to set the clock to low or high. And it receives the information serially, and then it receives a latch command to send it all at once. These are oscillators, 3.5 megahertz for the PSG chip, 7.6 megahertz for the FM chip. And I told you earlier that the FM chip has an audio out, so does the PSG chip. They all mix into this headphone jack. The bottom right is a little Arduino chip, what the headphone jack looks like, a little EEPROM. That's the first prototype. This is the code that was necessary to interpret the VGM data stream. Like when you encounter a command, let's say a 53 byte, that means it's going to write port 1, register AA, write the next byte that's next to the 53 byte. So all kinds of resources you can find online to help you understand what the chips are capable of. I went to Project 2612 to download all the VGM files I needed. SMS Power to get the VGM file spec. Spritesmine is a forum. It's an active forum where people actively create Genesis programs or any technical questions or demos or music that people create nowadays. There's a Facebook group dedicated to the FM chip. I thought that was pretty cool. I joined it. There are trackers available. Trackers are music creation tools. These output VGM files. It's popular. I think that there's a chiptune community that creates VGM files. There's multiple VGM editors. There's one for the PSD chip, 3 channels, 1 square wave. This is another Genesis tracker. A little player. The Winamp plugin that I used came from chipamp.org. It installs a plugin that lets you play back VGM files. And I think that's it. I'll play back another VGM file of the circuit. You could hear. That's just the PSG chip, no FM. Someone made that for a chiptune competition like 2 years ago. It's about 20K. I didn't implement all the instructions, all the timing instructions correctly, so it's a little off. You can hot swap it. Last one. This is a song that someone created using those tracker software. It didn't come from a game. Okay. And that's it. This is my circuit, self-contained. Thank you.